Alright, how's it going everybody? YoNoShot here, and today I want to have a follow-up on the last video, my ban list. By the way, if you haven't seen the video, go check it out. In the last video, at the very end, I was basically talking about how maybe you may or may not have been tricked into not be playing Unchained at the very beginning of this new format. So, but real quick, right before we get into talking about that, I want to follow up on the ban list because, like all ban lists, you get a lot of people that get triggered. So, I had some people in the comment sections. They didn't say anything rude or anything like that. I actually enjoyed our conversations. It got me through work a little bit. Like I was sitting there. I had a good discussions. Wasn't mad or anything like that. And honestly, I love having discussions because this is how you get to make yourself better. And I think this is it's just a healthy thing to have discussions and stuff like that. So, like I said, no hate towards the people in the comment section. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. I really love it. And and hopefully I get more. Hopefully I can, talk to more of you guys and stuff like that. So basically, real quick to squash any of the claims out there. The first claim was that I wanted a card in Unchained to be banned. That's not true. I never said I wanted any card in Unchained to be banned. I wanted, well, I don't even want it to even happen. I just think that a card would potentially get limited in Unchained, and I said that I think that a good hit would be more than likely Yama to, I mean not Yama, but Aruha to 1. And I don't think that that's too far-fetched. I mean, the deck literally is dominating right now. I mean, as you can see right here, it's 5 of them was in the top 16 in the last YCS. So, the numbers speaks for themselves. I'm a realist. I like to go off of what's in front of me with hard proof and data and stuff like that, like with facts. I don't like to just go off of how I feel. And the numbers are showing that Unchained is just dominating everything right now. And if a deck is dominating everything, that means that it's more likely going to get hit on the ban list. And when I mean hit, I don't necessarily mean that a card's going to get banned. I'm going to say, it could be limited or semi-limited. And that's what I said in the video. I said, Aruha may be limited to 1, or if not an Unchained card, then maybe Tour Guide. And I don't really think that's too far-fetched. I mean, we've seen other decks get not support cards, but cards that they use in their deck as far as getting banned in some cases, but sometimes they get limited. So I don't really think it's far-fetched to sit here and say that Unchained could potentially get a card limited. Not an Unchained card, but maybe a card that Unchained uses. I don't really think that's far-fetched if the deck is literally winning everything. So I don't know why that's bizarre. Maybe people are just a little upset because they bought into the deck and they're like, hey, I don't want to see my deck get hit in any kind of way. And I mean, hey, I said the same thing about Super Heavy Samurais, right? I said I really love the deck, and what happened? It got hit really hard at its very first YCS. It lived for 3 weeks, 3 weeks in one YCS. So I think there was another comment saying that this deck was only out for like 2 months, and why should it get hit? I'm just like, yo, I mean, this deck's been out for only about a month, my guy. Like it's been out for a month, like not 2 months, and it's winning everything. So like that's why I think that it possibly would get hit on the ban list. I mean, I don't know. Screw me, I guess, for thinking that a deck that's dominating would possibly get hit. I don't know. Maybe I'm the crazy one in this situation, but yeah, it is what it is. Much love for the comment section. So, anyways, another claim was that what was it? Oh, that I hate the deck. I don't hate the deck whatsoever. I actually like the deck. I love the deck. I'm actually in the process of getting the deck, and at any moment I can just borrow it off of my friend. He said basically whenever I feel like it, I can just borrow it from him, and as long as I just let him borrow one of my decks, we're good to go. And obviously if he's not going to be using it that day, I could. And potentially I probably would get to that point. I'm just waiting on how everything plays out and stuff like that. But I have no hate for the deck. I like the deck. I love it. Like, I think it's really cool. I like its gimmick. I like what it can do. And then the next claim was, I did say that the deck was unfair. Now, when I mean by unfair, I don't mean that its board is unfair. I think its board is pretty fair. I agree with all of you guys that said that its board is fair. But never once did I say that its board was unfair. What I meant was its grind game is unfair. I mean, you can play all these other decks, and none of them feel like it's just as grindable as Unchained. I mean, literally, just everything just keeps summoning something, and it just all floats, everything. Even the spell card. Some people don't even know that. The spell card can even float, and a lot of people don't even know that. That's what I meant. And a good example of this was I was literally playing against one of my friends in a tournament. He was playing Unchained, and I was playing Gigantic. I don't know why I said Gigantic, but I was playing Go Second Sprite. And, you know, if you don't know what Go Second Sprite is, I have a deck profile in my deck list and whatnot. You can go watch it if you want. Basically, it's just a bunch of blowout cards, and you basically attack the game using Gameverse. So, yeah, he's playing Unchained, do his thing. My turn, I kid you not, I destroyed his field at least 3 to 4 times, and he still ended up winning because I just couldn't get past anything. Now, you're probably like, just make the Zeus. Well, I mean, I got locked into level 2s because I had a starter, so I can't really get into the Zeus that way. So, and that was my only play. I literally wasted everything to just try to open the field up, and it just never ended. So, now, granted, the cards had to, you know, they destroy their cards, so obviously they're going to get their effects, but that just goes to show that if you're not playing something that shuts the graveyard off, that sends everything to the graveyard, or you know, or steals their monster instead, or attributes their monsters, you're going to be in a world of hurt, and it's going to be very hard for you to actually beat that kind of deck. And that's what I meant by it being a little unfair compared to everything else, is that its grind game is just insane. It's on a whole nother level compared to everything else currently right now. And I think some people mentioned Dragon Links, and that's why I said Magma to 1. And I want to mention Flu as well. But you know, Flu doesn't say, hey, when my card gets destroyed, I just get another one right onto the field. I mean, at least, yeah, I get it, they get banished, but they don't just shit out another one right into the field. So yeah. Going on to the actual main thing of this video, where you may or may not have been tricked. What I mean by that is, at the very beginning of the season, right before Duelist Nexus came out, pretty much everyone was making their ban list on the upcoming decks, Unchained, Chimera, and all that kind of stuff. And you'll see that a lot of them put Unchained as a rogue option, tier 2 at best. Duelist Nexus comes out, more people did their deck profiles, and they all, not all of them, but the vast majority of them said the same thing. They're tier 2 at best, maybe rogue, that's it. Very few of them were being real with you and saying, hey, this deck is tier 1. I was even saying tier 1. I didn't make a video on it, but I was telling all my friends and my team members and everything that, hey, Unchained is tier 1. Like, this deck is insane. And, you know, time goes by, YCS comes, all, you know, and all the people that pretty much were dogging on the deck, saying that it was bad, it's tier 2, it's rogue, they ended up playing it at the YCS. You know, they didn't play the decks that they say were tier 1. They ended up playing the deck that they said was rogue. That's a little weird, right? It's a little weird how they talked so much shit about one deck and then talked so much highly of the other decks, and then went with the one that they were talking bad about. I do think that there was something going on there. I think that they were trying to maybe influence you guys, mislead you guys into playing those the ones they talked about so greatly, so then they can actually play the better deck and then have an easier ride at the very beginning of the rounds, and then later on play against, you know, everyone else that was basically in on it as well. Now, you know, obviously this is just conspiracy, you know, but it's not too far-fetched. I mean, I have seen this happen in the past, not only in Yu-Gi-Oh, but I've seen this happen in a bunch of other games that I played in, whether it be like Call of Duty and Destiny and stuff like that. I have seen influencers pretty much get together, you know, maybe talk about a certain gun, you know, and make it seem like it's the best thing, and then you'll see a rise of people using it on that day or in the next day, and they'll just be laughing, and they'll be like, oh my god, these people fell for it because this gun's actually ass, and then it makes their day even easier. I've seen people do that to make like their trial runs, stuff like that, a lot easier. And, you know, and some of them even admitted that they did it to just see the trend go and stuff. So it's not far-fetched to say that the same thing could happen at this, you know, at a YCS and stuff like that. Like I said, I've seen it in Yu-Gi-Oh! I've seen multiple people talk so badly about a certain deck, and then they ended up actually playing it and just winning out. And they tricked all of us. I mean, I was one of the people that got tricked. I was like, wow, man, you guys really talked so much about how terrible that deck is, and you played it, and you guys won all the way out. You guys knew all along how good it was. You just wanted us to play something shitty. So it's not far-fetched to say that these guys probably did the same thing. And I say that to say this. Basically, what you should do is, I'm not saying don't watch their videos. You can watch them, stuff like that. I encourage you to watch them, see, get some good ideas, or, see what they're talking about and stuff like that. Entertainment, But I would recommend you to basically do the research yourself. Get on these dueling simulators, play the decks for yourself, learn the ins and outs. So then that way you know how to beat them, you know how to play them, and you'll know if it's good or not, instead of taking someone's word for it. That's what I do. As soon as I see the new stuff, I hear about it, I go right on Dueling Book, look at the cards, make a deck, play it, test play it over and over and over, see how it does, and then I make my judgment later on. Like, all right, cool. This deck is, this deck is, this deck is good. This deck is bad. That's how I do it. And I just recommend all you do the same. Just don't take someone's word for it. And yeah, that's that. So I know I haven't been doing a lot of deck profiles lately, and it's because I'm not, I can do them. It's just there's going to be little changes to them. I don't think any of you care if I change 1 or 2 or 3 cards out of any of these decks. Like, I can make a Pearly deck profile, I can make an Unchained profile, I can make a Rescue Age profile, but the thing is, like, it's going to be very similar to the thousands of the other ones out there, so I'm pretty sure none of that, it's not going to, like, none of you will really care if I say, instead of playing Book of Eclipse, I play Book of Moon, or vice versa. No one's going to really care. I sure as hell don't really care for that stuff, so I'm pretty sure none of you will. So that, I think I'm gonna go back to playing like some rogue style decks. Maybe go back to Dogmatica. A lot of you guys love that. So, I mean, that was like my most viewed video. So I think I might go back to Dogmatic and try that out. Try to figure out the new build for it. Maybe venture out into some other kind of rogue style decks. Maybe even play the new structure deck thing that's coming out. I haven't even really looked fully into that, but I heard it's pretty cool, so I might try that out as well. But yeah, only time will tell. I gotta get ready for some more regional stuff like that, but I will catch you all in the next one. Hopefully you guys have a great week. Peace.